How realistic is the Christian Horner to Ferrari rumors? Now, I think a lot of you might have seen the rumors of Christian Horner potentially going to Ferrari because a certain German publication has reported on it. Now, the veracity of those claims, I'm not going to get into them. But when we talk about Christian Horner and Ferrari, I think the first question that comes up is this marriage even compatible? And in my view, a marriage of Christian Horner and Ferrari, it's just not compatible. Here's why. So first of all, when we are talking about Christian Horner and Ferrari, the first requirement that Horner would have when he wants to come back is a stake within the team. As I mentioned quite a few times now, Horner is not coming back to F1 if he doesn't have some skin in the game. As in, he's not coming back as merely an employee. He's going to be a stakeholder. Now, the problem with that is Ferrari does not do that kind of thing. Ferrari is not a fan of employees buying stakes in the team. Secondly, if Horner is going to come to Ferrari, he would want complete authority and minimal interference from the board. The way Horner ran Red Bull and made it successful was because at the end of the day, the decision making came down to him, and he was the one who controlled every piece on the chessboard. And often he's even talked about it, even in different interviews, that when it comes to running a Formula One team efficiently and successfully, you need one man at the top who is going to handle everything. Now, when you talk on those lines, it's basically ceding power. And when we talk about the Ferrari senior management, and John Elkann is a part of it, he's not going to be willing to cede power. There's always going to be an element of the senior management having a say, wanting things to be done a certain way, and that's never going to fly with someone like Horner, who's a bit of a straight shooter, but that's not the culture at Ferrari. To add to this, there's also an element of the drivers at Ferrari right now, because one of them is Charles Leclerc, the other is Lewis Hamilton. And Horner and Lewis Hamilton, they don't see eye to eye. There's certainly a level of mutual respect from both of them, but Lewis Hamilton would not be willing to drive for Christian Horner. So if Elkann is going ahead and trying to sign Horner, there's going to be a lot of convincing that Lewis Hamilton would need. Finally, and I think the most important reason why I don't think the Horner-Ferrari marriage is compatible, I think it comes down to the fact that Horner has seen how Ferrari operates. In the last 20 or so years where Horner was leading Red Bull, there have been 6 different team principals. And even in interviews when he's been questioned why he thinks Ferrari doesn't win, the first answer he gives is that there's always a revolving door at the top. And once there is a revolving door at the top, first of all, it's a culture of fear. Then you don't really have job security for even the people at the top. Then how can you have an assurance for people below to work and express themselves properly? Even in the current situation, ultimately if Horner is picked, it's because Fred Vasseur probably had his first blip as a team boss. And if after his first blip, Fred Vasseur can be replaced, what does it say about Horner? So overall, it does appear that the marriage is not compatible. And that's why I don't think it would happen either. So that's my view. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.